put 10 in a row and light a building. Well, instantly you've got a lit backdrop. So that to me I think is good because it allows you a lot of freedom. Well, HMI's got an electronic feel. The thing that LEDs have done is so you're losing output. So there's all this trade-off constantly. So historically we've had tungsten, then you've had brutes which don't exist anymore. They do exist but nobody knows how to run them and they're not used. Then you'd go for the HMI, which is obviously a daylight balanced arc light essentially. And then obviously then fluorescents, which have been around for 20, 30 years now. And then obviously LED and everything in between. I mean, the thing is that tungsten light, yes, it's very beautiful, but it's quite an expensive and heavy operation. If you're starting to use Dinos and Wendy's, that means a lot of people, a lot of power, a lot of cable, all those other things. And of course, then HMI were really invented as a way of getting more output for less input. So we're getting a much brighter light for less input. So the 2.5, for instance, would be equivalent of a 5K tungsten, would take less power. But obviously then you have to gel it to try and find it. Like a 5K coming into blue would have to gel it with at least a quarter or half blue. So you're losing output. So there's all this trade-off constantly. The thing that LEDs have done is got a lot less power, a lot more output, and obviously variability in colour temperature, which is great. I mean, really, you've opened up a whole new world for us. But quite expensive to get. So obviously, you know, one light which costed more than one LED light wouldn't have the same output as, let's say, a 6K par, but it probably would cost the same amount. We've got power, yes, but we've saved on power, but we've now got a more expensive light. Fluorescent, in a way, sits in between those. You don't get there as much power, but you have less input. So you could run 6 Kina flows to 1K, for instance. But obviously then there's quality of light. So you have the practical things of amount of power it costs, the amount of rigging that it will cost to put it up, the size of the lamp, the output of the lamp, but then also the quality of the light. Well, you can go through all those parameters. Some people love tungsten because it's like butter or cream. It's not synthetic, it's just pure resistant lighting. It's got a very nice quality to it. But it's hot, it's heavy to manhandle, takes a lot of people, takes a lot of power. So you then go HMI. Well, HMI's got an electronic feel. I've never been happy with it because it always feels a little bit synthetic, so we always try and put it through a muslin or bounce it. So you take that edge off it and it becomes less electronic and more electric. Fluorescent the same. I never really liked fluorescent when I first started. I think if you're shooting in a supermarket or a office interior, then yeah, it makes sense. And actually there's fine ways of disguising the electronic feel of lighting. And then obviously LED, actually, people have spent a lot of money and time working out the CRI and the quality of colour and the quality of light. But I still think it's got a slightly electronic feel. But obviously with digital cameras now, that balance is changing and shifting. I guess it is defined into two different ways. One is electronic and one is electric. One is a current going through a metal that is resisting and lighting up a gas within inside an envelope. To a certain extent, fluorescents are like that, but different, and LEDs are definitely not like that, and HMIs are definitely like that. It's a luxury to a certain extent because a lot of people can't, but if you are insistent about it and production will buy into that, then fine. Some people want to shoot 65mm film. Well, obviously, if you're waking up every night screaming because thinking, oh, it's not come out, well, then you maybe should shooting digital and you can see it and go, no, it's fine. I understand. That gives me the confidence to carry on working. I tell you what I like about LED mostly. I did a commercial recently where we were having to work very fast in a high street. It was a working street and didn't have a huge amount of money or time or capability of pre-rigging stuff, and we used an LED tubes which are battery powered and Wi-Fi controlled full RGBW, so you can go from every colour range you could possibly really want instantly. And we basically would put hooks on them, screw them into walls, magnetise them, stick them places, and you couldn't ever do that before. When first LEDs came out and battery stuff, we did a shoot in Moscow and I took, I think, 20 out with me, and basically they were block batteries with a RGB floodlight on the front, put 10 in a row and light a building. Well, instantly you've got a lit backdrop. So that to me I think is good because it allows you a lot of freedom. You don't have cables, you don't have to wait for huge manpower, you can be very fleet of foot. But obviously your limitations are you can't put big lights up, but you can use those in coordination with big lights, for instance. So you put your big genie booms up with your big 18Ks or 20Ks or Wendy's, and you use the smaller ones to sprinkle around. It's allowed you a lot of freedom just to hide stuff behind doors, stick them above windows, all those things, or carry it around in your hand if you want to do running stuff.